Oil consumption, USA is at the top in this, 723 million tons, and then China as the next, and then next is India. But the gap between China and India is almost 3 times. So that's how the gap is there. Although USA and China the gap is a little bit lower. Global CO2 production. So let's see, same what we saw in the coal consumption. The same kind of graph is there as far as CO2 production is concerned. Till 1990, the production by the developed world was around 60%. That's again a constant and coming down to 50%. But the share within the less developed countries is now increasing. So this is the present situation, 2022. So here the China has the global production of almost 2.5 times than the USA, and India is almost half of USA. So that's how the things work out here. When we talk about methane production, so it's basically from the sectors like agriculture. The Global South has started contributing significantly. In Global South also, we have China and India, which are prominently figuring as far as the pollution is concerned and the emissions are concerned. So when we are talking about the politics of it, so its politics is basically, it starts with the politics and economy. It starts with your industrialization. 18th and 19th century, basically it was linked to developed north. Then colonization started, and colonization then happened in mainly Asia and Africa. So from there also they have started taking they have started using the resources from these countries, and then those were the industries of the north was fed with this. So IPCC has estimated that till 1950, 58% of greenhouse gases emissions occurred in the global north. But then the graph I was showing, so this trend has continued up to 1990. To support industrialization at large scale, deforestation has taken place within the colonies at a very large scale. So now issue is not only colonization although is over, but new colonialism has taken over, which we also call eco-colonization, where with corporatization of global economy leading to control over natural resources. You have one shining example where Brazil Amazon considered as a global oxygen tank has lost more than 1 million square kilometers of natural ecosystem. So who is doing it? So the consumption pattern when we see, basically it's again the developed north as a hyper-consumerism. So they have 24% of the population consume about 70% energy, 85% of wood, 65% of food, and 85% of chemicals. Developed world is responsible for 77% of carbon emissions. Practice of waste dumping, including e-waste, into the global south is happening. Shift of so-called dirty industries to less developed countries, which include your automobile, textile, leather, mining, food processing, etc. So China is emerging as a manufacturing hub. Similarly, some other countries also in the less developed countries, and these kind of industries are shifting away from the developed countries to the less developed countries, and then it's again blamed that okay, this the major contribution is from the developing countries. So what is North's perspective? North's perspective is that it's the poverty and the population growth which are the main factors relating to environmental decay. But then that's a very superficial kind of argument. Poor have no ownership of products like automobiles, refrigerators, ACs, energy consuming projects. They have lack of access also to clean energy. So they depend on fossil fuel and biomass. So their contribution is there. Then population growth, definitely they require the demand for food, water, energy increases. Now, what is happening is we are linking this progress with the economic growth with GDP-based model of development. This model conceptually is inadequate as it is one-dimensional and equates human life to eco-growth. It is unsustainable as it prefers economic capital over natural capital, profit over planet, consumerism over conservation. Some of this leads to commodification of nature, merely as a source to be exploited. I think Professor Bahal was also talking about the same in the morning when we are talking about commodification. So now what is happening is there is a realization even in the developed north also that until unless this problem of climate change is tackled, they are also going to be affected till now they used to think that we have this sustainability and we can continue with whatever we are doing. We will not be affected. We have the technology, we have the resources to tackle the issue. But now there is a greater realization that there are no boundaries as far as national boundaries as far as climate change is concerned. So they need to put their resources also in this. So now you see that the terms like sustainable, equitable, inclusive, poverty removal, zero hunger are being used at global platform. Even the institutions like the World Bank, which normally talks about curbing the subsidies, curbing the prices, all those things, all those methods which directly affect the poor. Now they have started talking about green, sustainable, equitable, inclusive. They have also started talking in that language. There is a corporate social responsibility made mandatory for companies. This is, I think, in India we have done that. 2% of the profits are being now put towards the corporate social responsibility. So these funds can be used for something. SEBI has mandated about 1,000 companies to submit business and responsibility report, which includes the mitigating measures as far as climate change is concerned. And India has provided just 2 minutes. That's right. Fine. India has provided just 2-3 slides. India has propounded a concept, Mission Life, that the lifestyle for environment at COP26. So then climate change funding is also increasing now. Different multilateral agencies are now coming up. The World Bank has now prepared a climate action plan for, earlier it was from 2016 to 2020. Now it's from 2021 to 2025. They have prepared a climate action plan. Significant amount of finances are being now put into that action plan. So other issue as far as the politics is concerned of climate justice is determining nations' responsibility in historical and current context, bigger role to play for the developed countries to restore ecology in view of their historical responsibility. Now what they do is they still try to discriminate. During Paris Agreement, coal has been singled out for phasing out under US and European pressure. No deadline for oil and gas have been fixed. So in 2009, developed countries pledged 100 billion every year for climate change. Only a fraction has been used. So things are being said, being talked, but action is still missing on the ground in these things. So that's all from my side. These are some of the references which I used for taking data from. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jaswant Singh. It was an in-depth show. You have mentioned so many important things in your talk. Now I request Mr. Pankaj Baba, Chief Minister of Punjab.
Thank you, sir. Distinguished speakers, my fellow colleagues, and my dear students. First of all, I would like to congratulate Guru Ramdas School of Planning and Punjab Regional Chapter Institute of Town Planners for organizing a national seminar on urban transformation environment, mitigation and strategy. I extend my thanks to Professor Luthra and Mr. Inderjeet Singh for inviting me here to share my views on this thought. To be more frank, I don't have any PPT, so I would like to share my personal experience with you on this topic of this urban transformation environment. First, if I will discuss its urban transformation, very renowned professors, our former CTP, they have already, discussed about this urban transformation, their issues, the challenges we face. And sometimes I feel, most of the time, if I heard the word urbanization, most of the time it has taken into a very, negative way. Issue. Urbanization is an issue. But as an urban planner, I think it's a blessing. If there is no urbanization, there is no urban planner. So for us, it's a blessing. We should take this urbanization as our responsibility, as an opportunity. So I would like to discuss, it's not the urban transformation. Before that, it's urban planner transformation. If I share my experience with you, I share my career experience with you. We know urbanization after passing out from the school of planning, after doing my bachelor degree, after doing my master degree, and of course most of them maybe in the first years, they could understand the meaning of urbanization, the issues of urbanization, and most of us knows the solutions of urbanization. But even then, day by day we are discussing urbanization issues. Everyone knows the issues, everyone knows the solutions. But why it is not happening? So that I want to share with you as a urban planner. When I joined this profession in 1991, that was of course by chance. It wasn't by choice I joined this profession. And after passing out this, rigorous 8 years in planning department, when I was passed out from this department, I thought, no, I am a very good planner. I will definitely change the nation. I will definitely change the Punjab now. I know everything about planning. But what actually planners face, that is the issue. When I joined the department, the most common word was master plan. We should prepare the master plan. Yes, everyone knows we should prepare the master plans. And in school, I learned it's very easy to prepare the master plan. This is the theoretical framework, this is the methodology, these are the surveys, these are the studies. Conduct the surveys, conduct the studies, make the master plan, that's all. But actually, this is not happening. Why? That needs to be understood. This urban planning is basically a state subject. In state subject, for every, and you can well imagine the voice of 22 planners in a population of more than 2 CR. That was the fate of planner at that time. So I think now you understood what will happen to my DAT proposal, what would have happened to my DAT proposal. So the alignment which we proposed as a planner after doing the surveys and study, that was totally been neglected, and some new alignment was marked. There are n number of factors. So I think the forum should be what actually urban planner faces the issues. Last year some data was there that we are having only 12,000 town planners for more than 150 crores of population of India. This figure of town planners, that leads to your voice. But don't be discouraged. Now I will tell you the real story of 20 years of my career. When I joined, it was 22 town planners in the state of Punjab. No more than 300 town planners are in the state of Punjab. And definitely we will go to 600 in next 3 to 4 years. Why? The reason is this. Now this urban planning has been recognized at the national level also. In the recent, speech of this Honorable Finance Minister in the budget, I think more than 30 minutes was devoted to urban planning only. That gives the boost to our like planners. A lot of initiatives are being taken up by the Government of India to uplift this urban planning department. Lot of reforms are occurring at the national level. And that has been, basically are being forced on the states. how they are being forced on the states. Recently, I give you a very good example. Government of India launched one scheme of incubation of new cities. You know, incubation of new city, what they did? They simply told, we have a scheme, 8 cities in the entire country will be selected, 1,000 for each city will be given, but the states has to contest, states has to fight. Mean it's a competition. That becomes a challenge, just like me like planner in Punjab. Why Punjab shouldn't participate? Let me participate. I tried hard. Mean issue is not that we are getting money or we are not getting money, but planners are being recognized. That is the issue. Another issue, this master planning exercise. In 1995, Punjab was the state of having a full-fledged legislation. Number of states till date don't have their legislation. So we should be proud of that we were having legislation. But in other way, what was actually happening? If you have a legislation, then you have to follow that legislation. Since 1995 till 2008, 13 years, not even a single master plan was prepared in the state of Punjab. Why? Because the theory which I studied here, that was totally opposite in practice. Why? Again why? Because I have to follow my act. In the act, there were n number of stages. For every stage, you have to take a permission of a particular people. Mean, lot of political people, lot of administrative people. Very small, few in numbers of 22 people from a 10 to 15 political people. How can they make it? I was part of that exercise being assistant town planner at that time. And we have amended our act in 2006. And in 2008, we were succeeded to have our first master plan. And now in Punjab, we are having 42 notified master plans. That 42 master plans still covers about only 50% of the cities. Still, we are lacking with rest of the 50% of the cities. For that 50% of the cities, we don't have sufficient staffs to make our own master plans. So we are dependent on outsourcing those master plans. We, last year also floated one tender to hire some companies to make the master plans. We got a total costing of 52 CR. Again, for government to pay 252 CR on master plans, that is not the priority. Let's spend this 52 crore something on else. So my issue is this. As a planner, first of all, our transformation is required. Niti Aayog was basically set up by the Government of India, and they recognized the urban planning. They have submitted their report, and that was sent to all the states to get it implemented. They highlighted the importance of qualified town planners. If you have a qualified, every town planner knows that why flooding is happening. But even then flooding is happening. All of us know how can we control our floodings, but still then we are unable to control our floodings. So we have to go into that route. Like Professor Saskar very well said that we propose buffer zone on the private lands. All the chores in Punjab also, we wrote a simple line, what we studied from our theory, that there should be a buffer zone along the chores. I think you are also teaching, you are also studying the same thing, there should be a buffer zone along the chores. So in all the master plan Punjab, what we did, we marked 100-meter buffer zones around the major chores, 30-meter buffer zones on the medium-sized chores, and 10-meter buffer zones along the small chores. These buffer zones you can keep if you give some incentives to the private people whose this land is actually. Where the urban development comes through acquisition, like Chandigarh, why it's planned? because it's fully acquired. If you want to, leave 200 acres for a city park, you can afford. But how can you expect where 99% of your urban development is from the private sector? Can you ask some private developer to leave 200 acres for the park? No. It's economics. It's a business. So unless and until government, intervene in that, your urban planning can only be successful by way of government intervention, by way of your, money, special funds to be allocated in the budget. And I'm very happy to share with you that this thing is not happening. At the national level, special budget is being allocated to urban planning department. Recently, we got, from the government of India, that is incentives for urban planning reforms. 15,000 crores, 2 minutes only, sir. 15,000 crores was earmarked for incentives for urban planning reforms. And in those incentives, I will be very brief. You know what they said? If you fill your vacant post in your state, you will get so much of money from the government of India. Just see. Now what we people have started, immediately starting filling up our posts, because we will get the money from the center, we will get the incentive from the center. Government is saying that if you recruit specialized town planners in your department, 25 crore will be funded by the government of India. What we did, immediately we, submitted a proposal of recruiting 20 town planners in the state of Punjab. And hopefully it will be done within 2 to 3 months. They are giving incentives that if you make a drainage plan of your town, you will get so much of incentive. Urban forest. If you make a urban forest on 1 acre of your land, you will get so much of incentives. So there are n number of incentives. So my aim is to say this thing that now we should be, very hopeful that now the time has come where the planners' requisitions has really been, come up at the national level, at the global level, at the state level also. Now even a political man also, start the meeting with this. Hey, the master plan, have you peek in the master plan? Everyone knows the master plan. So that gives boost to all of us that now we as a planner, we should be together. If we have more voice, we will definitely prove our profession. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In fact, the session was really very good. And issues raised in the session was very important. I would like to just give a little gist of what everybody has said about this.
आपको ही आना पड़ेगा।
That is okay. I think I'm quite loud. Everybody can hear me? Yes. So Professor Swanswat, he gave a very good idea about how the urban, what kind of urban threats are there, and how he showed some of the very nice pictures of Gurgaon and Delhi also. Where, you can give an idea that how big losses are there to start. Then he explained very nicely about the type of rainfall, this rain, fluvial and coastal models and things. In fact, somehow he determined that it was not only harm the people but also the effect of the city. Then of course, he discussed about some kind of interventions, the engineering interventions are there, on-scale interventions, catchment, then of course management interventions, the spatial planning interventions. All these interventions are very important and finally, because he explained that engineering interventions may not be as work very well without the special planning intervention. And now the things, special planning intervention, government is also promoting it. Then urban scale intervention, the catchment scale intervention is also very important. How the things that some of the state, they had started at least thinking about. beyond the FAR, GPR. Then Sponge Park and other things also. Then finally concluded the session with Dr. Sanjay Gupta. He started his very innovative kind of thing, the lecture, is low carbon credit mobility. This is of course very important. I would also understand the housing benefit. He mentioned about the importance of the urban trade, which of course nowhere in the master plan takes care of this, what the urban trade. Then goods movement trades in Indian cities, phenomena of logistics sprawl, then decarbonizing the urban transport in India, elements of low carbon transport, equitable and lazy legs, all these kind of things are there. Then what are the benefits of the low carbon mobility? Then of course he explained some of the global best practices for sustainable urban trade management. He gave example of the UK for that what happened in UK. It was different in the Paris and Madrid, and of course in Germany it was very different. And besides that, one of the Indian example is about the Mumbai Dibba Wala. It was really very good, and I think we knew. Everybody knew about this Dibba Wala concept, but this, the way he explained about that in detail. Then concept of city logistics, what were the mode of modes and operations there. Then we gave a case study of Delhi, the whole city, wholesale profile of Delhi, glimpses of the distribution system, what was possible. And of course, great within the world city also. And it is one of the very important points on the take up is about the NMTU and the increase in the use of NMT, non-electrified or non-motorized transport within the world city. And what are the issues and challenges are also discussed by Next comes to Mr. Jaswant Singh. His topic was also very innovative regarding the geography and politics of the climate change. He very clearly mentioned about who is responsible for this, whether government is responsible or the biggest challenge is cities are responsible or government is responsible. We gave a lot of data in the book. That, of course, then there was another question he raised, whether this climate change is really happening, or not. Because still there is a lot of controversy about this thing. It was really important for him to give some data. He gave a lot of data to support. He said this global energy consumption of 2022 fossil fuel, increasing quantities in that. Then the very important thing is the production of the carbon dioxide and methane. Production is increasing. Then, of course, when we explain about what the politics and economy of the climate change, or finally, we get a way forward for the included this lecture. Then Mr. Pankaj Baba, he said very nicely and without having any all the he explained what are the real hurdles in the urban planning. He gave a lot of examples about master planning and of course about the act which they were made just before that, maybe without thinking much about that, and ultimately they have to amend it, and after amendment they could develop a lot of master planning. And of course, now he also mentioned about this, the role of Niti Aayog, which is doing a lot of things for the planners. So I think it's all our council
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I thank Mr. V.P. Kuchre for organizing this plenary session in a very productive way, I would say, because he has given ample time to the distinguished speakers to express their views, which is more important. I have listened to all the distinguished speakers, and probably the tone is set now. Different dimensions of urban environment transformation have been touched. And it is there, for the students especially, because you are going to undertake, especially the final year students, you are going to undertake your thesis. And this type of seminar will always give you opportunity to select some such topics which are topical. And it is there. If you wish to, you can be connected to these experts. It is not that they are far from us. They are very own. We can always contact them, and as far as I know, they have always given offers that whatever kind of academic and technical help you want, we are ready to assist. In that regard, I can submit here that our transport planning students express their requirement, need, that we want a lecture or an awareness about the freight transport. And once Professor Sanjay Gupta was coming here, I requested him that kindly deliver an expert lecture on freight transport apart from this assignment. He graciously agreed, and tomorrow morning 9 o'clock, because he is a teacher and I know when I was doing my half-baked PhD from FPA Delhi. Since then we are good friends, and I know he is a very punctual kind of person, and he deliberates the things very elaborately, and I am very sure that the slack the transport planning students are having even today, because it's an optional subject in our course curriculum, that will be fixed. So it is, I'm trying to stress that if anybody, any student wants any kind of technical support from external sources, then they are most welcome. Just inform your teachers, then we will arrange whatever best can be arranged. Of course, the other distinguished speakers in the time to come, in the sessions to come, they will also deliberate on different issues like factory sitting, and we are having some video recorded presentations also, because those people could not come, like Rajneesh Sarin could not come for that matter, and CSC is working hardcore in climate change, especially for environmental angles especially, and a different dimension they are going to present this time, and it is on C&D waste, construction and demolition waste, which is a very pertinent issue these days, because a lot of construction is going as a result of urbanization, rapid urbanization. So it is in that context. I think this session was a very torch-bearing kind of lecture. Thank you very much, Mr. VP Kulprit, for chairing the session. And I request you to do another duty. Please come in the center of the stage. Sir, dance nahi, bas. We had a ritual of greeting our distinguished speakers we invite. So I request Simran, and I request Dr. Sanjay Gupta to come on stage, and through the Secretary General ITPA receive a token. I request Professor Shashwat. request Swansingh sir to come on stage, please. I request Mr. Pankaj Pawar.
मुझे दो मिल रहे हैं, प्रोफेसर शाश्वत की भी प्लेन से ले जा नहीं सकते, तो ये सब की लेने वाला भी
Thank you very much, one and all. And now we depart for lunch with a humble request, because I have received some strong message that half of the students have come. Half is less, so more have come. So point is that we are organizing these things, and we know 23rd is a sandwich day and this is a weekend. You would like to go back home, but I think we are organizing these things primarily for you, so that the external resources and we also gain out of it.